Good afternoon, people. Good evening, or whatever you call it. Good morning. Welcome to MUFC Realist TV special podcast edition. You might wonder, why is this frame empty? Well, certain sense, it's like a transfer market. In order to sort of fill that Picasso frame, you need to go to the market. And this is something that Erik ten Hag is currently doing, if you haven't noticed. We are calling the silly season. But before I introduce who's behind that frame, you know what to do. You know what I'm alluding to. There's a lot of bell buttons, like and subscribe, join, all that stuff. Or what I would say, welcome to MUFC Realist TV. Whatever you're drinking, I'm having coffee. Take a sip on your coffee, and we will be back with Anil Kandola from Talk Sports. And he is back. The frame is full. Anil Kandola, welcome to MUFC Realist TV. On popular demands, how are you today, sir?
I'm very, very good. Thank you, Mick. As you know, I haven't been back from a holiday very long, but when an opportunity comes with yourself to talk everything Manchester United, it's always an opportunity that I can't turn down. So thanks again for having me, and hopefully we can get stuck into some questions and hopefully give some light to Manchester United fans with only a few weeks left, really, of the transfer window.
100%. I heard you just came back fresh from the plane from Ibiza, like going hard, right? Or
yeah, I think the less said about that, the better, Mick. But yeah, it was quite heavy, let's put it that way. But I think, as I was just saying to you a little bit before we jumped on live, it was a great feeling to be away. And then Man United announced the signing of Onana officially. I think you and I were both obviously fortunate enough to know that this was going to happen quite a while before it actually.
Yeah, we did. I mean, did you watch the game yesterday, by the way? Did you watch Onana play? That was something, right?
Yeah, I did watch it. So obviously, as you'll know, my sleep pattern isn't exactly great as it is anyway. So I was actually wide awake for the game last night, and I thought, you know what, these types of games, they're not really situations where you've got to look at the scoreline and stuff like that. You need to just take into consideration the style of play, even the things that Erik ten Hag trying out, whether it be the midfielders going into wide positions, and of course, as you've said, the beginning of the Onana story at Manchester United. So hopefully, it will be a sign to come in terms of the high line, which I'm sure it will be, and hopefully, it will take Manchester United to the next level.
Oh, I'm trying to grow a high line here, hairline, to be honest. No, but seriously, there is some Twitter mongrels, I call them. It's you got to understand, it's a preseason game only. Even if we lost, I mean, some people already I seen going in on Onana, there was a mistake and blah blah blah. Like what it was supposed to do, it was an offside goal in the first place, according to what I was seeing. Of course, we didn't have the VAR room. And then we had Kobe Manu that was kind of unfortunately injured. He's playing, his game of his life pretty much, as a youngster playing Real Madrid. And that kind of went out the window after his injury, because I tweeted this before. That changed the whole outcome of the game, because Christian Eriksen was never meant to start. And if you're playing Real Madrid, you better have an engine in the midfield, because they will overrun. And one thing that is clear and obvious this season, I don't know if you agree with me, but I kept saying this, that I'm fearing that Christian Eriksen is going to turn into the next Juan Mata. Great technical abilities, but no legs, and lo and behold, we conceded the goal. But I don't think that we were far off. It was a great strength test, right? Second half as well, mate. We had him all, it was just Real Madrid is Real Madrid. You never sleep on Real Madrid. At any moment, they can just switch and bag in a goal. I mean, what was your general feeling regarding the game yesterday? First to start with.
So, we'll start there. It's a good place to start, certainly, obviously, considering it was only last night. But, excuse me, I think, you know what? Even if Manchester United were at the peak of their powers under Erik ten Hag, although it's been really, really impressive to see what he's done in the short space of time he's been at the club, he's not anywhere near really where he'd ideally want to get, and where I personally think he will end up getting to with that team and the way they play. But even if they were at that stage and Manchester United lost 2-0 to Real Madrid in the Champions League, where it genuinely matters, I still don't think Man United fans should be too disheartened by that. I think, as you've said, the quality running through the squad in every single position, the experience is oozing out of that
100%.
squad. So, you know, to go up against them with a lot of new players, a lot of different tactics that have been altered, not just with Onana, as I said a little bit earlier on, you know, pushing out the midfielders at times, whether it's Mount or Fernandez, you know, just try and experiment things against the big dogs. I think it will always help. And that's why preseason is so key. And that's why, obviously, Ten Hag's so desperate to get the players in before the end of the preseason and go straight into it. Because as he said many a time, and I don't need to tell all the people on this current stream, you know, they'll all be clever enough to realize that pre-season is imperative. They need to make sure they have a good one and get the players in this day.
How about that bicycle kick from the Stoke player? It's like,
that's very hard, Mick. To still refer as the Stoke player is very harsh.
The Stoke player, yeah, no. I know, mate, I know. But listen, when you think about it, it was only the second time the first team squad played together, right? And you know, it's been the kids all the time. But I'm just gutted by Kobe Mainoo. Have you heard anything? You know, any injury updates on Kobe? I mean, we lost. Who did we lost on the same ankle injury? There was Amad Diallo as well, right? So
yeah. So obviously, I did fire out a couple of messages because, as you've said, and I think everyone who has been watching him in pre-season, as Erik ten Hag almost announced, didn't he, that every single summer or every single season he wants a player from the academy to emerge. So, of course, last season it was Alejandro Garnacho, who Manchester United fans are very excited of, and obviously this season it was Mainoo, wasn't it? So I think, although there wasn't too many sort of clarification messages, should we call them, in terms of his injury, I do think Man United are erring on the side of caution, although we do get very worried when we see pictures of him leaving the stadium with the squad in boots and stuff like that. You know, you can fear the worst. But look, we've still got several weeks until, as I said, you know, until things really start to get going. And look, if Manchester United are in a position where they're relying on a youngster to get them through at the start of the season, then it's quite worrying. I do think he will have a massive part to play next season.
He will. I mean,
his injury and his fitness is really important at this stage, but he's also shown in the preseason. I think he's already done enough in the 2 games that he's played that I've watched him anyway.
Listen, Garnacho.
Show that he could be the next guy in that midfield, couldn't he?
Listen, now we're talking Manchester United. We're talking Alejandro Garnacho. Like, you know, 18, 19 years of age, he was bossing that left wing. And he's like Atletico Madrid player, so he hates Real Madrid in a way. But the way he took him on was amazing. So there's something special brewing there, 100%. But I'm agreeing with you. You know what I mean? So it's only like 3 weeks left to the Premier League premiere against the Wolves, right?
Yeah. Man United will be the final game, I think, on that. I think they're on the Monday. So yeah, it's still a couple of weeks left until that. Yeah.
Right. Anil, we have you know, a loyal community in the chat room. We call them the VER room. You know, we got to sort of pay tribute to them as well, to just give them a shout out, because Matty R is in the house. Привет, Matty. How are you? How are you doing? RJ is also in the VER room. RJ, reckon, you know, was that offside? If you were sitting there in the VER room yesterday, you will actually be calling the VER room. Big up for Bellingham. That was a big, beautiful goal, but was it offside?
Well, do you know what? I didn't actually see too many sort of reverse angles, shall we say? But look, I think at the end of the day, it's pre-season, and I think we all know if the controversy was there in a more important game, shall we refer to it as that, I think obviously it would be a slightly different conversation. But look, at the end of the day, it's again something that I think many opposing fans are clutching at straws when they talk about Onana, a goal that was very skeptical, to say the least, to try and, you know, hit that.
He couldn't do anything about it. Like, you know, was he
ridiculous, isn't it? And at the end of the day, I don't think many people are talking about how amazing that finish was. I think Bellingham to do that against a keeper,
that was brilliant.
It was a great.
We could have finished the dinner too, but yeah, it's clear and obviously clear and obvious. We will talk about that later, that we are lacking a striker. It was clear and obvious. You cannot play Sancho as a false number 9, and you cannot play Rashford as a number 9. Rashford is not a number 9. He's an inverted winger. Clear and simple. So Gavin is also in the VAR room, agrees, says hello. Jonathan Liljenberg from Sweden, 100% Højlund. We will, done. Yeah, we can talk about that later as well. Rajat is also hey Mick, but also hey to Anil. Ashid Mia is saying good evening, guys, from South Shields. Good evening to you as well. Daniel Fletcher saying good evening, Mick. Sorry to go off topic. I haven't heard anything weak regarding the takeover. We are not here to talk about the takeover. It's been 3 weeks since will Qatar take over, or do you see Glazers in charge? I will post this question to you. Just a quick and snappy update on that one.
Yeah, of course. And unfortunately for Daniel and everyone else, the updates, shall we call them, a few and far between at this stage. I do genuinely believe now we're in a situation where I don't think Ratcliffe's bid's going to be taken any further. I think the only reason why the Qataris are still in there is because obviously their bid and their offer to buy Manchester United is a lot more appealing. And also there's the possibility if they need to put more money in. That's not to say that I think they will put more money in, but I do genuinely believe that the Glazers are almost waiting at this stage now to try and get more money, if that's even possible. So I think, look, I do genuinely think ultimately this whole ordeal and this whole scenario does actually come down to the Glazers within the family. And now initially you might hear that and think, well, obviously, come on, the water's wet in other news. But look, I think what the actual specific issue is here, that the majority of the Glazer family want to sell, but there are only one or two individuals within the family who are reluctant to. And look, this again will have to be down to a decision that's going to be made across the board. So until we get there, I think Man United fans need to almost, and it is very difficult too, because of course how much Manchester United means to all the fans across the world. But for now, I think until we hear any further updates, it's unfortunately Groundhog Day.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, this is just an indication. I spin on the other side. Like, of course, we got to present two sides of the story. Like, I'm on the left side of the frame and you're on the right side of the frame. It's like you're having the angel and the devil here, right? So I'm going to play the good cop here to say, the reason why it's Silence of the Lamb, the movie, it's because there's nothing coming out, British press don't have anything to report about because it's not getting leaked. Club officials, what they used to have information from in the transfer market, are not involved in the sales process. There is a certain closed circle within that understands the information, and one of them is Erik ten Hag. 100%, because Erik ten Hag needs to understand what is his budget so he can go on the transfer market to buy the players that he wants. And I keep saying that it doesn't really make sense to disrupt the whole transfer strategy, because the clear and obvious, you can agree with me that our Manchester United's transfer strategy this window is to do astute business and not overpay, right? So we don't have any money, FFP this, FFP that. No, it is pretty much a tactic that is kind of been working. If you look at how we got Mason Mount over the line, we didn't overpay. How we got Onana over, we didn't overpay. And how Matt Hargreaves, which is the chief negotiator, is in place and absolutely doing bits, right? So if you remember, Anil, that, since when did Manchester United ever do two deals at the same time? They were only doing one deal at one time, right? And since when did you ever remember that we were doing like outs, like 5 outs, 6 outs, 10 outs? Never. That shows you that Glazers don't give a crap, right? Ten Hag is in full control, and what we're just waiting for, according to my opinion, though, my humble opinion, is that you will see an announcement pretty much after the transfer window is closed. Because why would you then, sabotage what the original plan is and strategy to do? Because once you get your targets in, if you all of a sudden sort of call your cards, like, here's my cards, and let's say at the end of the window you're looking to go for a Harry Kane, like if there's money left, right? Then Daniel Levy and Joe Lewis will understand that, Manchester United do have players, money. Yeah. So you're just acting like, oh, we don't have any money. As soon as you get all the ducks in the bag, you announce it. Simple as that. Because otherwise it's too much, according to my opinion, for the fan base as well.
That's a good point. It's a very good point.
Yeah, to handle a transfer window, that's stress enough. But then also to handle the takeover. So therefore, I see that they deliberately kind of switched off this, this takeover news almost to zero. Like there's nothing coming out because now it's the transfer window. So that's kind of my analogy on it. Like, but at the end of the day, I'm sitting on the left side of the frame and you on the right side of the frame, and you guys are in the middle. So whatever we say, take it with a pinch of salt, but at the end of the day, use your common sense and logic. 100%. That's a little bit of the takeover. Like we have Mo Hamza, who actually is in Qatar, saying, "Hello, Anil in the VRM, great show incoming." Yes, it is. It is. Oh, Rushmano is in the house. One of our legends as well. Sing Games as well. Smash the like button, people. Yes, thank you for reminding Sing Games. Please, everyone, smash the like button. Don't let this go under 50 likes. Daniel Fletcher is also saying we need 2 midfielders, 2 strikers, DMCB, lack of quality of the bench. I don't think so. We will talk about that later because I think we actually do have now quality on the bench. Oh, listen, I agree with you. Kamavinga yesterday, man.
Oh,
This
he's
guy will look mint. Oh,
how good,
really?
how good would that be to have him at Old Trafford? I think it's the hope that kills you, isn't it, Mick? That's the problem.
Yeah, we were looking at him like, was it 2 transfer windows away, wasn't it?
Yep, yep. Uh,
Makamawinga.
what can you do? Spilt milk, isn't it, Mick? Spilt milk.
You know who he reminds me of? Like, I'm a movie buff. You know the movie Avatar.
Yeah,
Yeah, he looks like an Avatar character, like with
with
his
the hair,
hair.
isn't it?
Yeah, 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 yeah. True. Yeah, Fatty Donut is in the house. Bobby, hello. Rushmano, Chelsea, 80 million offer for Casado immediately rejected. Yeah, this is madness. What have you heard about Chelsea? What are they doing with Casado? That's been dragging on for ages.
Yeah, I think it's a difficult situation that often Manchester United fans actually find themselves in when it comes to a player that they want. You only have to go back to Frankie de Jong last season, which we won't get into because I think we'll both fall asleep if we
Ah,
do that, Nick.
yeah,
But a situation where the club have made it very clear who their number one priority midfield target is. Brighton are very aware that Chelsea are obviously in for Caicedo. They know that they've got the money to spend, as they've shown already. And I think one thing to really consider is obviously last transfer window. I think it might have been in January actually, where Arsenal were chasing Caicedo, and Tony Bloom, the head honcho at Brighton, was sticking to his guns. And whatever you want to say, he is one of the most successful blokes in the Premier League because of how
he is. Yeah.
how well ran Brighton is, and you don't get like that unless you drive a hard bargain, to say it lightly. And
Hey, is he Tony from Sopranos? Hey,
yeah,
Tony,
that's
bada bing.
the way he's like, isn't he?
You try to
Exactly.
pay me, I pay me.
Exactly. So, I think, again, it's a situation where Arsenal back then, I think they rose their bid to best part of 100 million for him. I was told that a few whispers, I didn't get it checked out, but it was just in a couple of group chats that I was in that said they're pushing up north of 100 million here. So if that bid got rejected, I think Chelsea are going to have to put a little bit more money in. But look, I think we should start now, Mick, with the Man United stuff. Let's get stuck
Yeah.
into it because I think that's
Yeah.
what everyone wants to hear, isn't it?
Just shout out to Lisa Jensen and everyone. Big up for all of you. Let's kick on the show. We want to sort of shout out to everyone, but we have limited of time frames. So, guys, if you do have any super chats, any questions for Neil, please send them in because right now we are just focusing on the Manchester United transfer. So I do love you VAR room, but now it's just very rare that I get Anil like every bi-weekly or so because he's super busy and so am I as well. Anil, listen, I want to cross-check things with you regarding, first of all, let's start with Højlund. I know what I know, but I want to hear what you have heard from your end of the camp. Reports been saying bid is coming in 60 million euros, 50 plus 10 add-ons. He only wants Manchester United and PSG has backed up. What have you heard? I mean, I know you were in Beta Spain, but still, you keep having your ears on the ground, my friend.
Yeah, exactly that. Unfortunately, even if you do travel across the world, Mick, you're never too far away from a text message about a Manchester United story. But I think, look, Manchester United fans, if you're listening to this and you're a little bit wary, you're a little bit scared or even apprehensive that Hojlund won't be a Manchester United player, I really hope that what I'm about to say will calm your nerves down. I will be genuinely amazed if Hojlund is not in a Manchester United shirt. Let's even be generous and say within the next 10 days, because this guy is not only a brilliant player, one for the future and someone who Manchester United fans can get really excited about, but this is a guy who wants to play for Manchester United. The PSG interest is concrete. That is not something that's almost like a red herring or a bit of a smoke screen. This is genuine interest from PSG. And look, whether or not you want to believe it because of the quality of the league that they're in, PSG is still a massive, massive pool for players across the world. It's in a capital in a country that everyone loves. And I think it's fair to say Paris is slightly better than Manchester. So there are obviously a lot of things, going for PSG. But when it comes to Højlund, he is desperate to be a Manchester United player. This would be a signing that many Man United fans should be getting excited about because he's a player that Erik ten Hag will certainly allow a platform for him to really reach the high potentials that he's been showing. Although it's only been for 1 or 2 seasons because of his age, he has been showing great promise. But the one thing I will say, just to, as you said, Mick, at the start, to balance off both sides, just be patient. Let's not sign Højlund and get him in, and also Manchester United fans going, right, well, where are the 30 goals? Where's the 35 goals? Where's the winners in the cup finals? Where's the 1-0s at Anfield away? Let's just calm down, give him the time he needs, as every player deserves, no matter how good they are, and then we'll judge him accordingly as the time goes on. But as I've said, and I'll stress again, Højlund will be a Manchester United player this summer.
Anil, I must say something. You sound like me, but on a turbo speed. But you know what? This is exactly what I've been saying. Højlund is pretty much here.
Yeah.
Are you covering your ears, my friend?
There we go. Exactly that. Exactly that. But I
No,
think a lot more fans will have to get the party poopers out because, as I
yeah,
said, Manchester United
yeah,
will very shortly in the next, I'm
yeah,
going to say, the very maximum 10 days to 2 weeks,
yeah,
will have a striker at Manchester
yeah.
United.
Anil, as you pretty much know me, and this channel platform is trying to provide a voice of reasoning and basically to calm down people, to have sort of an motion sickness pill, because mental health plays a big part of every United fan. Like, why is it not happening? What's this? What's going on? No, listen, if you know what you know, if I know what I know, if I'm speaking to the agency side of the camp of the intermediates, like, we're talking about Keys Plugsma here from SAG and stuff like that, it's always been like this, right? And I've been trying to sort of educate people that this time around Manchester United is a different animal, how they're negotiating, right? And I'm just going to repeat myself again, people, because once they have established the interest of Rasmus Højlund, who is what you're saying, a Manchester United fan, diehard fan, to be honest, right? He only wants to play for United. That's his dream, right? It is pretty much impossible to sort of flirt him away. Like it's like you're going to a pub and you see this beautiful woman or whatever you might sway. I don't know, like, men or woman, and that is becoming your dream. Like, I want to be with this woman or man. You know what I mean? This so impossible to get that thought out of your mind, isn't it? Right? So
Absolutely.
you can have as many suitors coming at you to say, "Oh, what about me? Swipe right on me on Tinder." No, no, I only want what's there. Like, I only want what's there. So this is exactly what's been going on. Once they've sort of established that interest, it's easy. So what I've been doing with Keys basically is just to negotiate the agent fee, the image rights, personal terms like how much you want in salary, and they come to agreement on 5-year contract, right? That's number one. Number two is the obstacle of dealing with Lee Congerton, by the way. And Lee Congerton, everyone knows because I've been reporting about Lee Congerton, who was, by the way, the recruitment director at Leicester City that sold us, or actually mugged us for Harry Maguire for 80 million, right? So he's now working over there, like in Atalanta as well, similar role. So as soon as Manchester United walked into the door, he goes, "Oh, 30 million tax, 30%
At
tax."
least, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So if you look at guys, if you look at, if you just educate yourself, Google, like, go on Transfermarkt, right? Just put in Rasmus Højlund. Transfermarkt provides you the data. The fair evaluation price of Rasmus Højlund is 45 million euros, right? Everyone knows it, everyone sees it, and all of a sudden you see them wanting 100 million, 80 million, based on what? No, this is where it falls down. Based on what? Yeah. You cannot charge based on future potential talents. No, that doesn't work like this. You buy the talent based on the outputs. Now, barring that he had 3/4 of a season, scored 9 goals, Manchester United will not overpay for that. They will maximum go to 60, which is far more over 45 million, but that's 60 with add-ons, right?
Yeah.
So here comes in Hargreaves and here comes in Congerton. They've been negotiating for the past 2 weeks to lower down. It's called war of attrition, basically to grind down the price. Once those two parties have agreed, Manchester United will come back and submit first and final offer. That is to reduce the bottleneck, right? So why would you then go in, like in the past, right, to put in first bid rejected, second bid rejected? Once you have negotiated everything with the club, you say, all right, we all agree, verbally agree, that's a done deal. And point number 3, to sort of party put, no, is, how do we say it? Like, the icebreaker, like, or should I do this? I won't. It's basically the signs you can look out for is that they already found the replacement for Rasmus Højlund.
Yeah, which is a good indication, isn't it, as
Yeah.
to what they're going to do with
Yeah.
him. Yeah. Yeah.
So I also said this morning, like, pretty much Rasmus Højlund is a United player. It's just matter of fact of days. And they want this. Ten Hag and his camp, they want him over in the weekend. That's what's been saying. But there is a lot of things that can happen, and hence I don't put a time frame on it. It doesn't really matter the time frame. What matters is, guys, watching, I've been saying, as long as Erik ten Hag gets his target and we get our main man in, it's what's matter. Premier League starts in 3 weeks. He's got plenty of time to work, right? So,
Absolutely.
guys, that is almost here we run. I genuinely call it here we run or here we jog because Fabrizio, Fabrizio, hang on a second. Fabrizio, you use here we go. So I start here we jog, and that's the next final step is here we sprint. So why not build on that, guys? So
Yeah.
smash a like, please. Please smash a like. Thank you, Anil, for providing an update, for calming people down as well. And I 100% agree. Guys, let us know in the comments what you think. I will go to the VR room to see. Yeah, a lot of people saying yes. Preseason games sucks. Um, Listen, I'm sorry to catch up. But anyway, we just have to move on because I know you need to go. You have a dinner to attend. So it was a short update to see. Listen, guys, we will come. I will come back to you, even if Anil has to go. We will have a proper discussion, you and me, and VR room. So, listen. So that's pretty much for me done and dusted. You know, that's something that we can put in the bank, right? Unless something ridiculous happen,
Yeah,
right?
which is always something to consider. You know, a lot of people think that when you obviously report on certain transfers and topics, that that is the be all and the end all, and nothing else can change. And if they do change, and the story that you went with doesn't quite go the way that you actually reported it, that you're almost lying and not actually being truthful. But you know, there's a lot of layers to transfers, as you know, Mick, probably a lot better than I do, to be honest. And all these factors have to come together. And I know some teams and some sagas almost come together like a glove on a hand and make it look really seamless. But there are a lot of sort of, as I say, stages. And Eric Ten Hag's been alluding to the fact that they're making progress with a certain striker, even in his press conferences, as I say. So this will be something that will always be very nervous for Manchester United fans, even if they were at the
Yeah,
heights
it's
used to call.
nervous. He
It's always going to be the case, isn't it?
No, he's actually, believe it or not, that is his main man. This is the target that he wants, right?
Yeah.
And of course, it was no secret that he wanted Harry Kane. And of course, we've seen Joe Lewis outing, Daniel Levy to say you got to sell him. So he's basically pulling the pants down on Levy. That was his only negotiation trick. So we will see what will happen with Kane. We're not going to talk about Kane, but if Manchester United has money left over at the end of the window, I believe they will go for Harry Honka Kane.
I think, do you know what? I think it's very dependent, and it's quite difficult to really gauge in terms of my own personal thought as to what Manchester United will do. And look, with obviously Harry Kane, I don't think he would need as much of a pre-season, shall we say, compared to other strikers that will come in
No.
because of his experience. But I do genuinely believe that Eric Ten Hag and Manchester United are currently looking at getting not just Hojlund through the door. Sofiyan Amrabat is another name that I can
Yeah,
see
we're going to talk about
hear
Sofiyan.
about him. And also, you know, as a couple of the comments in the comment section today have suggested, Manchester United very may well need some options off the bench. I know there might not be as many as some people think in terms of how many numbers need to come through the door, but I think Eric Ten Hag will really prioritise. And also another big factor after Højlund and potentially Amrabat come in, not just because of finances, but because Eric Ten Hag wants a stamp on that team, he will get rid of a lot
Yeah. Yeah.
of players.
No, but, I was kind of the first one to start reporting on Amrabat, and after speaking to Mohamed Sinwar, his agent and stuff like that. And personal terms is definitely agreed. Everything is advanced. Actually, it was already advanced since January, to be honest. But back then it was just a loan deal. So that's always been there. And basically, like Sampdoria as well. No, not Sampdoria, Fiorentina, basically saying that he's not part of his plan, and they also find the replacement for Amrabat. But you can clearly see yesterday that was that missing gaping hole, right? So
Yeah.
you can play an Amrabat with it. He's a tank. He's
He's
a
so he's
he's
so good. Honestly,
abundance of energy,
I've been asked about
tenacious.
Amrabat probably 3 or 4 times live on air at Talksport in terms of my thoughts about him, and I genuinely can't remember a player I was this excited about.
Yeah.
That's not to say that I think because he's one of the best players Manchester United have ever signed or anything like that, but I think the tenacity, the ability, the dynamism that he will bring to that midfield. And could you imagine if Manchester United do want to play that type of game, that type
Yeah.
of football, have a
No.
midfield deep
Yeah.
partnership of him and Casemiro together?
Yeah.
Let me tell you for free, Mick, that 7-0 at Anfield won't be
Yeah.
happening again if you are in
No,
midfield
no,
together.
no. He rejected Liverpool. He rejected
Yeah.
Arsenal. He only wants to play for Ten Hag. And why so? Because Ten Hag raised him at Utrecht. That's the thing. Ten Hag has been following his development, right? He's actually Dutch, not Moroccan. Yeah. but he plays for Moroccan national team, but he's actually Dutch, right? So that's the thing. And for 25 million euros, right? 1 year left on his contract. If you compare to Invisible, the Arsenal Declan Rice that was totally on that pitch against United, we hardly saw him play. Amrabat is a total different beast, right? You stick him together with the Casemiro on that, double pivot or a little bit more advanced up as the destroyer, like in the box to box, going
Yeah.
backward and forward. Then we are cooking, my friend. Then we are cooking. Apparently, we have a super chat as well. I want to sort of before I will bring up the super chat, but I want to just have my final piece on it. That is definitely advanced. They are just waiting. They are grinding it down with Fiorentina. Definitely, Fiorentina has a price that thinking, oh, bada bing, we will have a 30 million for him. No, he's worth 20 million on the current market. So Manchester United know that. It's similar with the Højlund. When you go on transfer market and check out the price, you will not overpay. What you may end up offering is something in the middle, 25, maybe 5 add-ons, and the 5 add-ons is nothing, right? The 5 add-ons is nothing you will pay. Just if if he achieves the add-on targets, like you score 5 goals, you become a Champions League winner, XYZ, like ridiculous stuff as well. So rest assured, even Ornstein came up to say like, oh well, they will only sign him because of FFP. And like, you know what, FFP is bullshit. How many players? We sold Elanga already, or 15
Yeah.
million pounds. We are getting players out. So they're
Yeah.
basically, the fire sale out, they're already lining up. So basically, you can sign the player knowing that you have players out. So this is going to be a double swoop, according to my opinion, because you saw yesterday how he started Kobe Maino with
Yeah.
intent to see. He's not going to play Kobe Maino every game,
No.
people. It's not going to happen. But
Yeah.
he's
And you,
playing
and
Kobe.
you don't you, mate? You need the options in there.
Yeah, 100%. But he's playing Kobe Maino for the preparation of an Amrabat position. That's the thing, right? Kobe
Mm.
Maino will come in and play maybe 18 games next season, 20 games. There's going to be a lot of games to play for Cup, Champions Leagues, and a lot of league games. So we do have squad there, but that's going to be a frightening midfield, to be honest.
Exciting.
Exciting. Rushmano, big up Rushmano, legend of the VR room as well, saying with the super chat of £20. Thank you, sir, so much for your donation. Great to see Anil, top United source. Nice show, Mick. Hashtag glazes out. Yes, green and gold.
But
Never
appreciate
forget.
it. Thanks a lot for that. Really does mean a lot.
Appreciate it, Rushmano. Rushmano is a legend, always on the Flying Pig United as well. With Joe. Big up Rushmano. Listen, so that's Amrabat done and dusted almost, And for the first time, I feel like I don't have the PTSD anymore. But I don't know about you. I wake up every morning and I'm feeling like, how good does it feel to be a Manchester United
Yeah.
under Ten Hag?
So this is the thing, though, and you know what? I hate to, as you said, you played the good cop. I'm going to have to play the bad cop, aren't I? And I don't want to go too much into it because I'm sure it frustrates a lot of Manchester United fans. But could you just genuinely imagine, Mick, a scenario where everything, as you've just mentioned there, is always going through, and then Manchester United do have genuinely interested owners, and I'm not getting into, as I say, with the Qataris or Ratcliffe or the Glazers. Let's leave that for now. But I'm just talking about in terms of having someone who's genuinely invested at the board level just as much as Erik ten Hag to really allow him to fulfill the potential that he could have. And I think it doesn't take a genius to work out after 1 year, Mick, of Erik ten Hag. People were genuinely laughing at me, and I'm not talking just my friends. I'm talking about colleagues. I'm talking about people all over. Laughing, almost saying when
Simon or who?
No, not quite. But just general conversation with people who are very well versed in the football industry, not a talk sport, just general people that I've been quite privileged to be able to have conversations with, and they almost laughed me out the park, Mick, when I turned around and I said, I think Manchester United will get top 4, and to go one better, I don't think Liverpool will get top 4. I was left out. And I don't think many people are laughing now. And again, you've got to look just by the way of the organic process. Manchester United need to keep moving forward. And if they do continue in the trajectory that Erik ten Hag's taken them, there is no reason why they can't have a season similar to Arsenal where they challenge and who knows, potentially even go better than Arsenal did last season.
Hold my Coke for a second. Hang on a second. I agree what RJ is saying here. Takeover talk is boring. We're waiting for new incomings now. 100%. And I keep saying that to my audience as well. Put the takeover aside now, because we're actually a football club and we have to play football in 3 weeks. And that is what matters right now, because, hey, at the end of the day, that's what we are. We are fans. We want to be entertained. Why should you as a fan worry about the financials? Are you the KPI holder? Are you the recruitment? Are you the scout of Manchester United? No, you're not. So why should you care how much money we're actually paying for it? That is what I don't understand. Why are people so invested how much money we are spending and the finances, where we're not, the owners of the budget?
Exactly.
All you care about is just get the freaking player in and let's go. We want to be entertained. We want to win the league. Come on. Now I keep saying that, Anil. I'm people are calling me also like, you're too giddy now, Mick. You're too positive. Yeah. I made a pact to myself that this season around I'm going to be very positive.
That's good,
very
man.
positive realist. And having to say that, what Ten Hag is cooking right now, we haven't seen anything yet, with the goalkeeper that he wants, with the midfielder that he wants, with the striker target that he wants. And if we get a Harry Kane in, a cheeky Kane at the back of the window, surely, Anil, that has to be a title contending squad.
Yeah, absolutely. There's just no other way of me putting it, Mick. I think, we want Manchester United to be in a situation where there is no excuse. There isn't an excuse of the takeover incompetence. There isn't. He has a great comment, isn't it? Moroccan pitbull. I don't think you can summarize it better than that. But look, in terms of Manchester United, you want a situation where there's no excuse of Erik ten Hag being in this transitional period. There's no excuse about the lack of squad depth. There's no excuse about, as I've said, incompetent owners. There's none of that stuff whatsoever. And Manchester United could be in a position, just saw that comment, where they genuinely do, but they do challenge Mick. So I think there do need to be a couple of more.
Sorry, that is the best abbreviation I've ever seen. Financial fake rules.
But yeah,
I think,
yeah. I think, look, Man United are going in the right direction. It's certainly exciting. They're addressing the issues that they have in terms of holes in the squad, but I still think there needs to be a little bit more, Mick, in terms of really claiming a spot in the title race before the season starts.
Yeah, 100%. Rush Mano is saying the Glazers are laughing at us. I saw Joel at New York. It's like he doesn't give a shite. I mean, anyway, I believe we will have new ownership very, very soon, and we are just turning the page. So everyone agrees, and I would say that at least this takeover stuff has united the fan base even closer, and I would say also that Ten Hag has made wonders, at the end of the day. He's also, created some positivity. I can't believe some people were calling his name out, Ten Hag out, I want Pochettino, I want this.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Absolutely. Then you don't understand what football is all about in a certain ways, And basically, Ten Hag was a push by guess who? Richard Arnold. Everyone wants to appoint Pochettino. At the end of the day, we got the right man in. I call him the Messiah from Amsterdam, right? The mini Alex Ferguson. If Ferguson walked down all the way from Aberdeen, 20 years later, we had the bold and beautiful walk down from Amsterdam and say, what is this? And look at us now. We're going to cook, I guess.
Yeah,
we're going to cook.
Hopefully so.
I think this positivity is rubbing off the fan base as well, because I keep seeing a different tone on Twitter and the socials and even in the VR room. People starting to believe. And that is beautiful. That is Manchester. That is glory, Manchester United, in my opinion, Anil. Brilliant. In terms of the outs, Scotty Mac was kind of linked to West Ham and also Maguire. Scotty Mac did a decent performance yesterday. Actually, he looked very good yesterday, to be honest. Was that a performance to say, hey, look at me?
Yeah, I think, look, it's a really interesting one with Scott McTominay, because I do genuinely believe there's a player in there. But in order for someone like that to really reach the heights of their professionalism and their performances each week, that he needs to be in a situation where he's like in Scotland. And I know you obviously have seen his performances in the last year or so for Scotland. He's not only, playing a part in the midfield, but he's also popping up with goals as well. So I think this should really be a highlight for McTominay as an individual, that he needs to go somewhere where he's going to play regular football. And he's not going to get that with Casemiro in the team, and he's definitely not going to get more like
Amrabat. No.
So it's a situation where, look, I think it's right for all parties. This isn't something where I think Scott McTominay is going because he's awful. I don't think he's in that category. I just think he's in a category where Manchester United feel like they have certain ideologies in terms of the way they want to play. And I think McTominay's strengths are almost
Yeah.
underlined by Casemiro's brilliance.
Yeah.
So I think he will go. He is a player that I do genuinely believe won't be at Manchester United. West Ham, as you've said, and I think as many people know, are genuinely interested. And look, this could potentially be a position, as we know, Manchester United are
A
never
bidding
in,
war.
where they have actually got the powers to up the bid. I know Man United are normally on the other end of this, where a team overcharges for a player, whoever that may be. But Manchester United now know that West Ham have got a shiny 100 million
Yeah,
pounds.
yeah, yeah. They do. They do.
If they do want to add another 10, 15 million, I think they're within their rights without a doubt to do so. So I think McTominay could potentially be, as crazy as it sounds, the best bit of business, because Man United could get around 40 million for him. And I know that sounds
Well,
crazy.
he's 40, 45. He's a homegrown talent too. Like,
Precisely. I think Man
years of
United have to take
experience
about 20
playing like
million
in
for him.
Premier. Yeah, years of experience playing in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Manchester United player, Scotland international. That's got to be worth something. Plus the homegrown talent thing that adds on the the Brexit FC tax, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I look at it, like you said, from a player's perspective, right? Surely you got to go and play football, like, play regularly, right? Okay, it's a glory, like, your academy player, you want to sit on the bench, but at the end of the day, like, if you want to play regular football, then you go to a David Moyes side. It's not a bad shout, actually, because they're playing in Europa League or Conference League.
Yeah, it's not. This is the thing, Mick. I genuinely don't believe you. A player at Manchester United should look at clubs like West Ham and turn their noses up at it, because at the end of the day, West Ham, they're still an established Premier League side. They're looking for a player to come in midfield and be the new Declan Rice for him. What a great attraction that will be. So I think McTominay will definitely be going. Harry Maguire is always going to be an interesting one, because I think if it was totally up to Maguire, he'd stay at Manchester United irrespective of his playing time.
Brilliant.
But there have been some whispers of interest. I've heard quite a bit over the last couple of days from Italy, but I think the only stumbling block there will be the wages. I'm not really sure of any Italian player at this moment who's a defender who's getting 200, 250 grand a week. I might be wrong in that, but again, that's going to be a potential issue. But look, Manchester United, I think as fans, we all want to see who's coming in through the door, because they're the ones that we're going to get on the back of our shirts. They're the ones that we're going to be singing new songs at Old Trafford. But we can't underestimate the importance of getting out the players that are surplus.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. You are singing from the same Spotify playlist as me. But I've been singing. The outs is so important. We haven't seen much outs in the past couple of seasons, but this time around, oh my God, they are serious. There's a fire sale. Anil, I know you got to go. Is there anything else that you want to bring out to the fans here, or anything else that's burning in your back pocket?
Yeah, well, do you know what, Mick? Every time I do come on this channel, it's always at a time where I'm really tired. So initially I'm thinking, okay, look, I like Mick. I've loved what he's done. So let's just get through it. But every time we start this, I see the comments, I see the reaction, I see the community that you've built. And it's a massive inspiration. I'm fortunate enough to work at the world's biggest sporting radio station, and to be around people who are so hungry, so ambitious, and to try and take on the world when it comes to teams like Manchester United. It's a great admiration from my perspective towards you, Mick, and to obviously the community that you've built. So a massive thank you. And as you know, I'm a very busy man, but I will genuinely try my best to come back on. I really enjoy it, and I really like interacting with the community, as I said.
Brilliant. So, listen, I know you got to go as per usual. I always enjoy having you on. Like, it's been 2 weeks since I saw you last time, and a lot of things happens. Like, it's a transfer market, things moving fast. You look up at the sky, it's sunshine, blue skies. You turn around, it's thunderstorms and lightning and pissing down. But today it's sunshine, because we have Anil Kandola. We had Anil Kandola.
Thank you. Much appreciated, Mick, and take care, everyone. Thanks a lot.
So, before you go, where can people find you if they are interested to follow you, sir?
Yeah, lovely stuff. Thank you for that, Mick. So obviously, as you can see, my name literally just there, Anil Kandola. Just
say my name. Say my name.
This is a very musical perspective, isn't it? But yeah, my name's just down there, Anil Kandola. If you just
you got the Red Devil in front of your nose, mate.
Look at that, Mick. But look, I think, like I said, if you do fancy a follow, if you do want to check out my stuff, whether it's for Talk Sport, my own podcast, and I do obviously post some clips now and then from the transfer updates with Mick yourself as well. So yeah, just pop my name into the social medias, drop me a tweet. I'll try and interact as well. But as I've said, as always, Mick, massive thank you for having me on. I hope you've enjoyed it as well as much as I have. Massive appreciation, and we'll definitely get something penciled in over the next week or two, as I say, because I really do enjoy coming on your channel. So thanks once again.
Brilliant, sir. Brilliant. I just removed the overlay so you wouldn't have that devil on your nose. But brilliant. Enjoy the rest of it, and thanks for the update, sir. And we should see you very, very soon. And hopefully next time we speak, we will have 2 more signings in through the door in terms of Amrabat and who? Rasmus Højlund.
Lovely
Big up,
stuff.
Anil.
Take
Cheers,
care.
buddy.
Thanks, everyone. See you in a bit.
Cheers. Guys, thank you so much. That was Anil Kandola on a short notice, as we are super busy. You know what I mean? It's always interesting to get him on the stand as well to talk, because Clean obviously works with his ears down the ground. He works for Talk Sports. He speaks to a lot of people, same as me, but on a different level. So really appreciate it. I had to remove the frame. I'm now looking for a new overlay frame, and I'm trying to figure out which one to use because I get so many to choose from. But I can use this frame, I guess. So I just let's add that frame on. People, I want to go to your comments as well because obviously I've been neglecting you before we close the shop. So David Heron, we missed you to say well done, Anil, 100%. So let us know your thoughts and feelings right now if you want to sort of have your say. Otherwise, we will see you later on tonight, 10 p.m. Don't you dare to fall asleep, people, because we have a very special guest on tonight. It's Wasim, basically, United Analytics. He's got 48,000 followers on Twitter. He's an expert in terms of the tactical analysis, how Erik ten Hag patterns of play. So basically what we would do tonight is on an educational purpose to sort of portray how Erik ten Hag will play this season with Wasim in the helm. So guys, it would be me, Phil Standish, United Standish, 10 o'clock UK time. But listen, it's been brilliant to do this snappy. Sorry about it should have been updated earlier, but Anil just messaged me 30 minutes before the show. Hey, I can come on. Let's do this. Don't forget to like, and please, if you haven't, don't forget to subscribe. Blessing Nido is in the house. Hi, Reds. I'm new here. Welcome, Blessing Nido. Welcome. Please subscribe if you haven't. Please also join the Telegram chat room as well. That is amazing Telegram group as well. The links for the Telegram is also in the video description. So welcome to the stream, guys. Yes, we are actually, as I explained, we are jolly. We are doing a show later on tonight, as explained. And Alan, I agree with you. It's 100% glazes out. So I wouldn't worry about the glazes out protest for now. I mean, protest we must do. We need to stay consistent. I believe we will have new ownership very, very soon. Now it's just time to focus on getting the right players across the to Carrington, and we have a fantastic season to kick off in about 3 weeks. Brilliant. Thank you all. Mo Hamza is saying cheers, Anil, and big up, Mick. Big up to you, VR Room. Big up to all the members. If you want to become a member and support the channel, there is something called join button here. And only for €1 a month, approximately less than that, you'll be supporting us. Big up to all of you. So this has been Mick Ruby here from MUFC Realist TV with a special edition with Anil from Talk Sports. Listen, I will park the bus here, whatever they say in footballing terms. We had our say, and hopefully we made your day. But listen, tune in later on, hit that notification button, and we shall see you at 10 p.m. You know what do we always say, Mick? Peace, love, banana. But now we got Onana, so we'll say peace, love, Onana. That's all, folks. Thanks for tuning in. See us later. Bye for now.
That's all, folks.
Thank you so much for stopping by and watching MUFC Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.